not international film stars, not especially glamorous, whose names are not guaranteed box office all around the world. But fortunately, not tonight, as we welcome arguably the biggest female star in the Hollywood firmament, the extremely glamorous, huge box office of Demi Moore.
Thank you very much. Great to see you. Right. Now, what brings you to England? Because this we get not me, sure. No, but flattering and touching that may be, maybe later. But no. But do you come here to England much?
Off and on. My husband was here for about 5 months when he was working with Luc Besson on The Fifth Element.
Right.
So we got a good
You're
chance.
married to Bruce Willis?
Yeah.
Well, because you know that. Yeah, but it would not have escaped your attention. Yeah.
I don't think so, but every once in a while you look over and you do feel a little shocked.
And you've been married for ages. You've been married for 10 years or so, is that?
That's exactly right.
But that's like 500 showbiz years, isn't it? That's, but that's you are often described as like the most powerful Hollywood couple because you're
Isn't that silly?
Well, but it's silly, but is it true? I mean, you're...
I don't know. I look at him in his boxer shorts every day. It doesn't seem like extreme power to me.
Well, so now the film you got out is G.I. Jane, which is, to say the least, a demanding role because you play, well, you tell us what you play in the film.
Well, basically the film is, poses the question, should women be in combat or not? And so I play a Navy officer who is an intel officer, and I'm kind of plucked as a guinea pig to be put through a very high-level special ops group called the Navy SEALs.
So you become a SEAL in the thing?
Well, I get an opportunity to be put through the training.
Yeah. So you have to balance a ball on your nose and or fish at you and that kind of thing.
Catch the rings at the same time.
Yeah. And you go through all the training. And in the film, you apparently go through a huge amount of the training as well. Now, how much of that is just filmed and made to look like it? How much did you have to do?
I had a fantastic stunt woman, but who was very gracious because she let me do most of it.
Yeah.
Except for the two things that the insurance company wouldn't let me do.
What was that?
I mean, like jumping out of a helicopter 40 feet above the ocean.
Yeah.
A few of those kind of things.
Yeah.
I was game.
Yeah. But you're shown doing press-ups and sit-ups and stand-ups.
Because why do a film like this if you don't really want the experience? And for me, it was a life-changing experience. And, I mean, not just me and 50 other men, you know.
Yeah.
It wasn't really that part of it. Yeah. Although it was nice.
Yeah. We've got a bit of a clip of the film. It looks all a bit nasty most of the time. It's sort of a bullying process rather than anything else. But
it's not really bullying, but because there is a definite method to what seems like madness.
Yeah. Well, there's a clip here. We start with you having water poured into your mouth. So it is you, just in case we didn't recognise it. And we'll see something of what it was like in the film and what it's presumed was a bit like in the actual training. So here's a clip of G.I. Jane.
You need to know what it feels like to drown in order to avoid panic and perhaps gain those few seconds that just might save your life. The natural tendency toward premature panic is what makes this such an effective interrogation technique.
Car 15, military designator M4. Nothing more than a chopped-down version of the M16 assault rifle. Taking the proper precautions, this weapon can be considered water-resistant. Through the years, many techniques have been developed to seal the muzzle of the weapon. Nothing, however, surpasses the technique developed during my time.
Wow.
Shut up, Sloan.
Can you do 2 arm push-ups, 1 arm push-ups still, or was that the stunt woman doing it?
No, I can do them.
Yeah.
I don't think this is quite the right outfit.
No. Well, looks fine to me, but but are you somebody who works out, you know, you're a fit person anyway, and you just had to add to it, or did you have to completely transform your life?
The training really was, and my body, which was quite different in the film is really just a product of the training.
And do you do it now for fun, you know, just to keep yourself...
Oh, just pop a few out. Actually, I have to admit that by the time I finished that film, after doing the film prior that was also so physical, I haven't worked out since October of last year.
Yeah. So I could take you on an arm wrestle now. I might.
I think you probably
I could
kick
win.
it.
Yeah. Okay. Now the other thing you do in the film, you know, to get yourself fully amongst the blokes, you shave your hair off as well.
Yeah.
Now that presumably was done in a single take. Was that your hair, or was it a stunt woman's hair?
No, that was all me. Ridley Scott directed this film, and he set it up, and it was this big. And I got in front of the mirror, and we're ready to go. After he had the stand-in have to do a shave just to make sure it was all good.
Somebody else for some other.
There was three of us.
Oh no, seriously. Yeah.
Three of us, the stand-in and the stunt woman. We all had to shave.
Yeah.
And so he got the top of my head and part of one side, and he said, "Okay, cut."
Yeah.
So then I had to wait 30 minutes with half of my head shaved to get to the other side, just until he left me with only a Hare Krishna tail.
Yeah. And we've got a still, obviously, of you in your shaven state.
Hello.
Looking nice and friendly. But you didn't decide to stick to that style, because I've modelled my hair on you since. But,
all my husband said is all that counts is you have a good head shape.
Yes.
Of course, he knows.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. But when it comes to it, I mean, I don't know. I've never been through this kind of training. When you have to produce a soldier or a sailor who can maybe, I don't know, run 50 miles in the middle of the night or 10 miles to get to something, do you feel that there would be women who could compete on those terms? Because you can't say to the enemy, oh, you know, you've got to give her a little bit longer to run because she's a woman.
She's a little slack.
Yeah.
What I really feel is for the 5 to 10% who are of a physical level. And you have to understand that there's a 60% dropout rate of the men that enter this program. So of the women who I think would be able to face the challenge physically, which you shouldn't even show up if you don't have that element, and then you narrow that down to the possible 1.5–2% who are interested enough to want to be out there, then I'd like them to have the chance, because I'd want them out there, just like I'd want anybody who really had a passion to do any particular job.
So what else have you got coming up in film terms? Because you always seem to, as I say, hit the spot on.
The only thing I've done, which I guess could be somewhat controversial, is that Woody Allen decided that I would make the perfect Jewess.
Yes.
So he made me into a traditional Orthodox Jewish woman who has to say prayers over everything from food to blowjobs.
Oh, fine.
Which I haven't seen the film yet.
No.
But,
But you've had the food and the
yes. And the dessert as well.
But was that is that because he if you like to call it that? But a mere trifle. But but is that something because he saw you as looking right for the part, or that he just fancied meeting you? Because he likes a pretty girl, Woody, doesn't he?
I think that I'm way too old for Woody.
Now you've of course never been shy of showing yourself off as. You did striptease when you were pretty well naked, and of course, even more famously, possibly, you appeared on the cover of Vanity Fair when heavily pregnant. Now, is that because you're just completely comfortable with your body and think, well, why not? Or are you making some sort of statement that people should be?
I think there's two parts of it. One, I think, particularly in America, there is an extreme puritanical point of view of the body, which basically is that somehow a nude body, which is obviously quite natural, somehow only will provoke something that is, you know, sexual, thereby being completely threatening. And
well, you say America's puritanical like that, but we see over here, you know, you see Madonna or Pamela Anderson or something like that. Naked American bodies are not that unusual. You know, all Hollywood films have an obligatory love scene with.
Not all Hollywood films. Take that back. Was there a love scene in this movie?
No, well, there was you were in the bath with your it wasn't much love, but there were you didn't have any clothes.
Not much love.
You didn't have your clothes on, and
okay, but there were suds.
Yeah. But there was one frame though, because I mean, it is virtually every film that the actress, as it always tends to be, is required to.
Except this time he had to step out of the tub.
Yes, indeed. Yeah,
he had no idea what would be left in the film.
No. He didn't even have his boxer shorts on, so...
No, not at all.
Yeah. Anyway,
he was freewheeling in that tub.
Are you... So are you comfortable with that? Do you think it's okay, or is that something you think, oh my goodness, another film, I've got to get my kit off just to get the bums on seats or bums on the screen?
Tackle, is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
No, it's. I think that just too much importance is placed on it, and part of it is, I guess, I didn't grow up in a family that viewed it as something to be ashamed of.
Yeah.
And so I'm actually more shocked, especially with the pregnant cover. That it was such a big hoop-de-doo.
Yeah.
I mean, those.
Well, you must have known it would provoke a reaction when you had your big hoop-de-doo. You were just.
Well, within this particular hoop-de-doo, these photographs were taken at the end of the session for me and my family, as Annie Leibovitz had done with the prior pregnancy, just for the family. And Annie called me 3 days later saying, how would I feel if they used it? And I said, well, better than them cropping the shot under my hand holding my breast.
Yeah.
They can do that anytime.
Yeah, sure. No, you do.
On one of those moments when I'm just in big need of showing my body.
Yeah.
You know, I could break out any moment.
Well, feel free. We've got.
There's been a lot of photographs of women with their belly exposed. I mean, you saw really nothing of my body except what seemed to be so scary is the belly.
Yeah.
To create life. I think I'll be looking around maybe for something slightly soft and feminine and...
Well, the Air Force.
You know, delicate. So delicate.
Yes. Okay, well, it's great to meet you. I'm sure there'll be some questions, though, from members of the audience. Gentleman there in a blue shirt.
How do you decide which films you will do and which ones you won't do from the many that you clearly get offered?
I think it's a combination, and you base it on what you're interested in doing, what you've just done, and then, you know, you look at the elements involved, and then it's pretty much just a crapshoot.
Does anybody know what's going to make a good movie, apart from hiring a star like you? You've got a name.
But that
you're
even
already
isn't enough.
Yeah, but that's
enough.
something you can get. Oh wait, she's done some previous films.
He's very large.
What?
Okay.
What was that? You're
Sorry.
fearless, aren't you? I didn't know what it was. What is that?
He was large. That's all you need to know.
Right.
And you didn't want
Large
there.
and male. Yeah, good.
Yes,
Yeah.
he had to be.
Yeah.
So what was the question?
The question was, I was spinning off that question to know what, you know, does anybody know what's going to make a...
No, I mean, I think you can look basically at your concept, what's the story you're trying to tell. And, you know, the most important thing, I think, is that you have passion. And you have to love what you're doing because you give up, you know, 6 months of your life from beginning to end. And, you know, they own your time. And you have to really love where you're at. And believe me, when you don't.
Yes, it's horrible. Yeah. Has any film you've spent 6 months or so doing you really hated?
Yes.
Which one would that
We'll
be?
move on. Next question.
All right, yes, any more questions? Right at the back.
Hi,
Yeah.
sorry, yeah. Do you get a lot of offers to star alongside your husband? And if so, who would get top billing?
Oof.
Who would get top billing?
Yeah.
Well, in the only film that we have done together, bad English there, I got top billing. But it's because I asked him to read the script for me to see if he thought it was something good. And he came back and said, well, I want to play this guy. And that was Mortal Thoughts.
But do you see much of each other? Because you're filming for 6 months, he's filming another film. Do you ever sort of bump into each other? Or
Would you like our schedule?
Yeah.
No, we actually, you know, knock on wood, have really been... Is this wood?
Well, I very much doubt it. It's further over here. But
we've actually worked it out. We really don't allow more than 2 weeks to ever go by where one doesn't travel to the other.
Right. Okay, any more questions? Yes?
You did the film Ghost. Will you be doing any more comedy films like that?
Ghost wasn't a comedy film. I was terrified by it.
Well, in fact, it was a comedy for Whoopi.
Yeah.
It was an action-adventure for Patrick, and it was an extreme drama with lots of tears for me.
Very romantic role for you, really, wasn't it?
I guess so, in a dead kind of way.
Yeah. That was quite a soft role for you, because normally you're a very powerful kind of performer, kind of powerful person you're playing.
I don't know, I think I'm really vulnerable.
Yes. You say
You
say that with your one-arm push-ups. And
Well, all I can say is, I'm a much different body than I was then.
You prove it.
Well, I can strip down for you, but I don't know what underwear I'm wearing. And,
Boxer shorts, I should imagine. If you're dressed in white. Gentleman there in the blue shirt and the white...
Your husband's always cast in films wearing a vest. Yeah. Does he...
What, he's always cast in films where he wears a vest.
Yes. Does he wear a vest around the house?
Yes, with the boxer shorts.
Yeah.
Especially that orange one from Fifth Element. He took a particular liking to the rubber.
But you were wearing kind of vests and things in this film, so was it your washing line at home must have been... Well, thank you very much for joining us tonight. Thank you very much for London. Demi Moore, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay, that's all for tonight. Just to mention a thing to all my guests, including Dr. Demi Moore, me, Clive, saying good night. Good night.